if there were such changes of scaffolding components at the client's object, there was at least one transfer act, then an invoice for scaffolding rent can be formatted for this object. Currently we see that all acts can be edited on this page. There are two ways to access the invoice formation page. First, from the client's object page, click the button to page of invoices rows format for client object at the bottom of this page. Second, through the left hand menu section preparation of invoices. Clicking the button to the invoices rows for the client object page at the bottom of the client's object page will open the page of all invoices rows. In this case, the data presented on this page was formatted before this transition, and if necessary, the data update for this page is performed by clicking the Update Invoices Rows button. The program forms invoices rows from the data of the acts of this object. Then, by clicking the button Show Only Rows Not Yet Included, we go to the invoice formation for the client's object page. If we click on the Changes button, when this page opens in a separate tab of the browser window, we will see that we can only view the acts contained in it. This is because after the act data is used to form invoices rows, this act cannot be edited anymore. The possibility of edit it appears again only if the invoices rows in the formation of which the act data was used are cancelled. If we go to the page of all invoices rows or client object page and click on the Delete All Invoices Rows format for the client object button, the invoices rows will be deleted. And the acts can be edited again. If we click on the To Page of Invoices Rows Format for Client Object button again, we will see that there are no format invoices rows left. Another way to get to the invoice formation page is through the Preparation of Invoices section of the left-hand menu, which opens the Client Object Selection page. On this page, in the Actions column of the corresponding object row, clicking on the small orange button opens the invoice formation page. In this case, before opening this page, the program updates the invoices rows of this object, and after the page opens, there is no need to additionally click the Update Invoices Rows button. By default, only rows from the beginning of the previous month will be presented on this page. When opening the Scaffolding Component Changes page, we see that we cannot edit acts. We also see that the first transfer in this object occurred earlier than last month, and invoices rows for these periods were not visible on the invoice formation page. In order to see invoices rows for period earlier than last month, we click the Show All Periods button. After clicking this button, we see the rows of previous periods we need. On the invoice formation page, we can select the invoice rows that will be included in the invoice being formed. This is done by checking the box in the Include column of the corresponding row. We include the row of the earliest month. In the invoice number box, the program enters 1 if the company has not previously formed invoices, and if invoices have been formed, the next number after the largest number used to form the invoices. The data in this box can be edited, but the program checks that this field is not empty, that an integer is entered in it, and that this number is not the number of an invoice that has already been formed. The current date is entered in the date field by default. This field can be edited, but the program checks that this field is not empty and that a date is entered in it. At least one invoice row must be included. In case of discrepancies, the program stops forming the invoice and displays the appropriate message. We can choose whether the invoice is formatted as an Excel file in the local format of the relevant country or as an invoice formed for a foreign market. We can also apply a discount from 0 to 50% to the total amount of the invoice. After selecting all the appropriate data, click the Form a Document button. The formed Excel file is uploaded to the local computer. After forming this invoice, if we press the Also Show Previously Included Rows button and go to the page of all invoices rows, we can see that the corresponding data has appeared in the columns invoice number and invoice date of this row. And if we press the Show Only Rows Not Yet Included button and go to the invoice formation page, the row that was included in the format invoice do not left in the invoices rows list that can be included in the newly formed invoice.